Yo, yo, yo. What is up, guys? It's Sunday, man. It's Sunday. Hope everybody's weekend's going well. It's good to see you guys. Um, oh. So I have a bit of a change to the schedule. So I had planned on playing Cultic today. Again, shout out to our buddy Tinwin for uh gifting that game to us because first off, just such a generous person and a big part of this community, and has had a great time playing that game and wants us to experience it as well. So I'm still going to play Cultic. I thought I was going to play it today, but I've decided to put that off until after we finish Dead Space 3, which starts tomorrow. I've got some stuff that I need to take care of today, and it's just going to be better for me to go ahead and just do the news today. Um, and then take care of all this stuff that has kind of been hanging around that I need to get off my plate instead of putting it off any longer. So I've decided to um, just go ahead and take all of today outside of the after the news segment to not do any gaming content and try to take care of some other stuff. And then we'll get back to gaming tomorrow, and we'll do all of our Dead Space 3 with Tinwin in a co-op playthrough, and then we'll do the cultic stuff. Okay, so that's kind of going to be the play. And yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I hope everybody's doing very well. Hope your weekend's going fantastic. Let's go ahead and do what we do. Let's get over here and get into this video gaming news segment. Cool. Let's go. Let's go. Oh man. We talk about this kind of thing a lot, and we've taken a dive into a lot of different articles about uh the different areas in which specific video games, actually can have different effects on improving cognitive functioning of the human brain, and it varies widely. I mean, just the natural cognitive functioning of the brain can be enhanced through specific types of video games, such as puzzle games, real time strategy games, 4X games, things like that. And then there have been all kinds of studies about different kinds of effects, and even to the point of helping to repair um, damaged parts of the brain, or people that have certain kinds of learning disabilities, or things like that. There've been a lot of different research studies that have found ways in which video games have, excuse me, significant positive impact on the human brain. What I would say is we've talked a lot about it, and if you're interested in it's very very broad. There's a lot of information that has been researched and continues to be researched in that area of science. And if you're interested in that as a whole, or even in some kind of specific area of that study, then I would say search it out. We've talked about it a lot, and if there's anything specific about it that comes up, then we'll continue to dive into it. But as far as just the broad sense of it, we've talked a lot about it, so I'm not going to jump into this. But it is very, very cool that we have found out so much about how you know the positive effects that can come out of playing video games, and we continue to take a look at how we can take certain types of software in the gaming industry to you know boost us as humans in regards to healthcare, or even just help us, become better thinkers and more intelligent. It's pretty nuts, pretty cool. We're getting another surprise confirmed game from Game Pass for this month. Let's take a look at that. It's random mode time. Let's go. Cool, cool. Steam game is getting its Switch exclusive after just 7 months. Let's take a look at that. Gamer, what's up, buddy? New Final Fantasy VII remake game announced? What? Okay. It's a board game adaptation. That's why I was kind of confused. So I'm not going to dive into that. We talked about this yesterday. Valve registered Neon Prime as a game software trademark, so we'll see something about what they're doing with this in the future. We don't have really any details on it yet, but we'll see what that's about at some point. We also read about this yesterday. Gotham Knights is only going to run at 30 frames per second on consoles. They have blamed this on what seems to be how elaborate apparently this world is in its development. In that 60 frames would apparently be too much right now, or too much at all for these new gen consoles to handle, and as well as bringing some issues with, I think, apparently the co-op that this game provides players, in conjunction with how elaborate the world is. This is apparently why they took the potential of this game coming to last gen consoles away. And I think a lot of people are kind of really turned off by this. I mean, it seems weird. It seems weird that new gen consoles can't run this title at anything over 30 frames. Like, I don't know, obviously, all the details or anything, but I think a lot of people are kind of going, there was no way to make that work, So I don't know. Maybe we'll get some more details on exactly what the cause of that was, and if they'll be able to patch in some options for 60 frames at a later date. I don't know. But for consoles, for the foreseeable future and on release, 30 frames per second is all you're going to get. Cool, gamer. I feel that, dude. I feel that. Yeah, dude. Yeah, so Bayonetta's former voice actress exposes low salary. So shout out to our buddy Tim when he brought this to our attention yesterday after we had already done the news for yesterday. But I still have the article up that he provided us. And, we talked about it a bit yesterday. I feel like maybe, and we'll rehash it today, now that we're in a new segment again. And we'll talk a bit about what we found yesterday, and maybe we'll see if we get any new details in this article today. And we'll see what's going on there. Crew 3 rumor may reveal new location and title. I think this first part of this title is about all I would really be able to say for Scorn. Look, we finished Scorn yesterday, and Scorn is true to Geiger's work. Yeah, that's really about all I can give it. I mean, and that's where a lot of my sentiment came in yesterday regarding the game, and that um, it feels like it probably would have been better off as some kind of like virtual experience, VR experience, and not necessarily a game. Then like I don't think it worked too well as a game. To be honest, it was just it was kind of real meh. It's kind of and it wasn't like this atmosphere that they brought in with the Geiger esque graphics, the artwork that is presented in this environment brought in anything real scary. So it's not like what they were trying to do was, because that's what video games are, right? Video games put you into a world, um, a more immersive world quite often than you'll see in what you experience in other types of entertainment, like movies or TV shows, right? So, um, I think if if they had been able to present this world in a very frightening kind of way, then yeah, cool, man. The video game part of it worked, but they didn't. It was just showing off art. And really, in order to do that, I think they didn't need to make it into a game because while it felt okay, gameplay wise, it wasn't all that fun, really. It wasn't all that fun. Um, I mean, and it wasn't scary. So I mean, I think the artwork was amazing, but that's about the most you're going to get out of it. It was very Geiger, absolutely. And I honestly, I think like for what this was, it really just probably should have been like a, I don't know, a movie or a VR experience or something. It didn't work as a game, in my opinion. Not to mention the fact that it was just like um very, for me at least, like what the crap is even happening? Like you wake up. I mean, I had my theories about kind of what was happening there, but you're literally you're not. There's no dialogue in the game. Not that there needs to be, but I mean, if you actually want to know what I mean, the story is behind this or anything, I mean, there's nothing. There's no dialogue. There's no voice acting. There's no text to read. There's nothing. It's literally just you running through this game and trying to piece together what you think might be happening on your own. And then the ending was just like, I don't know. Like, okay. Like, okay. So I was not real impressed. And even though I'll say this, even though what drew me to being enticed to the game in the first place was the Geiger artwork, because it's very compelling visually, and I love that kind of artwork. I expect a lot more out of a video game title, especially one that's been in development since 2014. Um, that did not provide. Nintendo Switch sports servers have been taken offline. Let's go ahead and get into our other search here. All right, I want to, dude. This is TMZ's website. I don't necessarily want to be on TMZ's website either, but I want as much information as I can get in regards to this Platinum Games. Was her name Helena Taylor? Is that her name? Or is it? Yeah, Helena Taylor. I want as much information as I can get out of this situation, since we talked about it yesterday, and I feel like there's something missing in what is going on there. So I want to see if I can gather some new information I might have been missing yesterday. We've talked enough about Overwatch 2 that, like, this kind of review, I'm not going to dive into this. I think that we all know pretty well by now. Overwatch 2 is just like a revamped Overwatch 1, basically. A few changes, with the play styles, some, map overhauls, and obviously the game has changed from free to or from a paid game to a free to play style. No more loot boxes to a battle pass system. I mean, there are differences, right? But overall, it's not an entirely different game than it ever was. And have they had some issues from their transition from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2? Yeah, DDoS stuff, character or players having things from their account locked out, and they're figuring that stuff out. The phone number stuff has been an issue. Again, I'm not against the phone number stuff. I think that it's a good first step in trying to eliminate people from making dupe accounts, people that you don't, people that I personally don't want in my live service competitive game communities, that make a toxic kind of environment with hacking and cheating and breaking terms of service for whatever reason. If somebody gets banned for breaking terms of service, I don't want them in my online, competitive games. So companies finding ways to prevent those people from playing in those games, I'm all about that. Now, doing it in a way that doesn't prevent other barriers to providing people, new players into the games that I love, is what I would ultimately like to see. And I think they're working their way towards that. But the phone number thing did present significant obstacles to new players, which sucked. But they'll figure it out. League of Legends reveals 2022 season rewards. Take a look at that. Yo, what up, buddy? Dead Space remake devs considered and decided against Quick Turn. Interesting. Let's take a look at that. If you're not familiar with what Quick Turn is in games, especially in you'll see it in a lot of VR games too. A lot of VR games will have a quick turn ability. Where it'll like, and you can usually set it up to where you can you know, you can turn 90 degrees with just a click of a button, or you can turn 180 degrees with a click of a button. So you're turning all the way around, or you're turning 90 degrees one way, and it's just like boom, and then you're facing that direction, right? And so that's what they're talking about here. I think is a quick turn in Dead Space, but I'm glad. I don't think it was necessary. Now, this game, Dead Space Remake, is going to be a lot different than the first. There's going to be a lot of similarities, but it's also going to be a lot different. So let's take a look at that. Stick with this. Let's stick with this. League of Legends reveals 2022 season rewards. LoL players who've been grinding through the 2022 season, increasing their ranks over time, finally know what rewards they'll be getting for all their troubles. Riot Games revealed this week the rewards for the ranked season, which includes a victorious Sejuani skin for those who reached at least gold this year, as well as other rewards based on other achievements. The season comes to a close on November 14th, so those who haven't quite made it to where they want to be just yet have until then to make it happen. Sejuani began being the recipient of this year's victorious skin. Shouldn't be much of a surprise to those who've watched the Boar Riders rise in popularity throughout the season. The champion was seen frequently in public matches as well as in the competitive scene, not only in the jungle, but also in the top lane. Victorious Sejuani goes to anyone who hits gold with chromas for the skin awarded to players as well. For those who at least finish ranked placements, you'll get the Eternals Sejuani Series 1 set, no matter what rank you finished the season at. Ranked profile icons as well as profile banners will also be awarded to players based on what their highest rank was for the season. Clash rewards will also be awarded to players based on how well they and their teams did. Rewards that include icons, logos, and banners once more. For those who've admirably remained honorable throughout their ranked climbs, as far as the game's honor system is concerned, you may have a shot at the Malzahar skin previously revealed by Riot. It's called 3 Honors Malzahar, and is only going to be giving away to those who've reached Honor Level 5 during this season. There you go. For the LoL fans, Dead Space Remake devs consider deciding against adding a quick turn. The Dead Space Remake boasts a number of improvements when compared to the original from 2008, but a quick turn input to swiftly escape danger isn't among the changes players will notice when the remake releases. That's not to say the developers didn't consider adding it, however. They did think about it, but ended up scrapping the idea because it went against the Dead Space formula and wasn't the type of change they were looking for. Quick turns are pretty common inputs for horror games, and seeing how the original Dead Space didn't have one, we were wondering going into our hands-on preview of the remake whether or not that feature would be present now. It wasn't, and neither were other potential modernizations like automatically picking up loot. We asked creative director Roman Campos Oriola if a quick turn option was ever on the table, and he said it was, but that it didn't mesh with the biggest pillar the team maintained during the remake, keeping the game true to the original, which is pivotal, I think, to making sure that this remake, is widely accepted. If you're going to take an iconic game like Dead Space, that people have been anticipating a remake of for quite a while at this point as well, and we already know they're making changes. But I think these changes they're making are going to be acceptable and accepted through the community of players, and lovers of the original game, right? Fans of the original game. But if you start going too far into things like that, or auto looting, I'm so glad they didn't put auto loot into this game. I love being able to loot things in this game. So I'm glad. It's a survival world, but it's a specific type of survival world. Campos Oriola said it's a survival world mixed with a shooter, but you're not your average shooter. A shooter where you need to be a bit smarter. Yeah, headshot is cool. It's nice, but you need more than that. And there's physics, and there's different ways to play with that. And that recipe, in order to work, it has to be pretty precise. Players must be efficient in Dead Space to stay alive and conserve resources. And if something ends up getting too close to you in Dead Space, it means that you have failed. Yeah. So even though a quick turn was on the table, the devs decided against it. If you add a quick turn to that and give a way for the player when, oh man, I'm messing up, no ammo, 10 meters back, and I can't restart. Not saying it's bad, but it's a different type of experience than the original experience. So that was not the type of change we wanted. We considered something doing the 180-degree quick turn. That's what I was talking about, right? And then when we thought about it, we're like, no, that's not the type of change we want. And I'm glad. I think that's the right choice. Again, this game releases on the remake of Dead Space releases on January 27th for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. I think that's very smart. Again, you get into the space of remaking a game, especially a game that came out in 2008, right? Your technology has evolved in such a dramatic way. Even though the game still feels very good, we just played it. Dead Space 1 feels good. But your ability to take what the base game was and really, really bring it up to speed for what it should be for today's date is undeniably a hard task of riding a fine line between incorporating needed change in a title like that and crossing that line into doing too much and changing the game in a way that is really going to take away from what the original experience was, right? So I'm really glad that they decided not to put quick turn in. I'm also really glad they didn't do like auto loot and stuff like that. We already know they're doing significant changes. There's no more train system. There are going to be areas you fly around in this game that with zero gravity that you weren't able to in the first game, and the flight mechanic in this game is going to be much more elaborate than it was in the first game, and closer to what you experience in Dead Space 2 or 3. I haven't played 3 yet, but we're going to starting tomorrow. Things of that nature, right? So I think from everything that I'm seeing and I've read and been exposed to with what this game is going to bring to the table at this point, I think the changes that we're going to see are going to be good and not take away really from what the original experience was. The Crew 3 rumor may reveal new location and title. Crew 3 may not actually feature the Crew branding and instead take on a new name and introduce a new location to the series. Ubisoft's The Crew franchise is a very interesting racing series that didn't take off in the way that other big racing games have. In a time where Forza largely dominates the racing genre, The Crew was an interesting idea, but has yet to really feel like a direct competitor to the Xbox racing series. The series allows you to explore the entire US via fast cars, and the sequel introduced things like boats and planes to really spice it up. Although Ubisoft hasn't officially announced a third game, it's been rumored that will come in the future. Courtesy of Tom Henderson and Nick Baker at Insider Gaming, a rumor suggests the Crew 3 could take the series to Hawaii via the island of Oahu. According to images seen by Insider Gaming, the Crew 3 may be rebranded to Motorfest and ditch the Crew branding. It's not completely clear if that's the case, as it was speculated this could be a big feature in the game, and isn't actually the name of the game, though there's no way to tell at the moment. As of right now, it's also unknown when Ubisoft is planning to reveal the new racing game and when it may release. The fact that The Crew 3 may be set in Hawaii certainly paints a different picture for the threequel and could explain why it's possibly taking on a different identity. The Crew franchise is known more for the scale of its maps and the ability to drive the coast to coast and see major U.S. cities. If the game is set on a Hawaiian island, it may mean that the game is scaling itself down and being more focused on a detailed map than one big one with key landmarks. Okay, well, we'll see. That's rumor mill stuff. Again, grain of salt there. But as we get closer to, or as more information potentially comes out about a new Crew title, if that's what it's going to be called, we'll see exactly what that's going to bring to the table for us. All right. Nintendo Switch sports servers have been taken offline temporarily. Nintendo is working on fixing a bug in the game's latest update. Nintendo has taken Switch Sports' servers offline while it works to fix a bug that was found in the 1.2.1 update. As a result, the game's online functionality is temporarily unavailable. Nintendo made the announcement on Twitter saying the bug was causing some players' game to close during the pre-match loading screen. A bug has been found in the Switch Sports version 1.2.1 update, which causes the software to close during the pre-match loading screen. The tweet reads, "This is unfortunately affecting both online and offline play modes. We have therefore temporarily suspended the rollout of this update. While we investigate to find a solution, the servers will be temporarily taken offline and online play will not be available during this time. Save data backup is also temporarily suspended. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience." Nintendo did not give a timetable as to when players can expect the game servers to come back online. It's a shame, too, as this game is a worthy successor to the Wii Sports Mantle. As Andy Brown relates in his 4-star review for NME, Brown states the game's collection of sports is something of a mixed bag, but it keeps praise on the football and bowling, the latter being a particular favorite in the original Wii Sports. While some sports like volleyball failed to impress, Brown nonetheless states that the better parts of Nintendo Switch Sports' roster easily outshines its weaker elements, and the game's weaknesses aren't dramatic enough to smear what is almost always an exhilarating experience. Cool. Well, hopefully they get that all sorted out here pretty quick, but if you didn't know, that's kind of what's going on with the Switch Sports servers right now. I'm guessing they'll have it fixed up pretty quick. Game Pass surprise confirms another October game. Publisher Devolver announced this week that Phantom Abyss, a game that's been on Steam in early access for a while now, will soon be available on the Xbox platforms and as part of the Xbox Game Pass collection on October 20th. The announcement was shared via the Devolver digital socials through things like YouTube video below that showed off some Phantom Abyss gameplay, which consists of traps, obstacles, and treasures hidden within the labyrinth-like temples. In a multiplayer game as well, where players see the platforms, It's a multiplayer game as well, where players see the phantoms of those who attempted the temples before them, so that players can perhaps learn from mistakes made by others. Let's take a look at this. Cool. Just taking. Sorry, guys. Okay. Phantom Abyss is a massive asynchronous multiplayer game that casts players into procedurally generated temples and tasks them with retrieving the sacred relics hidden within deadly chambers. A preview of the game said, intrepid adventurers will dodge scores of hidden traps, leap treacherous chasms, and flee relentless guardians through branching paths until one of the relics are claimed on the devices of death. Overwhelm them. Be warned, you only get one attempt at each temple, and failure or settling for a lesser relic means you will never see that temple again. On Steam, the game currently goes for $25 US, so skipping that barrier of entry and getting to play right away on October 20th, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, isn't a bad deal at all. This new edition is just the latest of several bits of good news for Xbox Game Pass subscribers. Another was the confirmation that a recently added game, Chivalry 2, had added 500,000 extra players to its ranks after coming to Xbox Game Pass. Yep. Yeah, Scorn also released 2 days ago on Xbox Game Pass. If you're interested in playing that game, I highly recommend playing it on Game Pass rather than paying full price for that game. In my opinion, that game is not worth paying $35 for. Nope. So, cool though. There you go, guys. So, and Devolver's a really cool publisher, man. They do a pretty good job of picking out games that really fit their this specific kind of profile they have, which is these really neat, quite often weird, wonky, funny, quite often dark, but very often humorous kinds of games and stuff too. They have published a lot of really, really, really good games. So I don't know. Maybe if you have Game Pass, take a look at Phantom Abyss and see what you think. Okay. Steam gets Nintendo Switch exclusive after just 7 months. Steam users looking for something new to try this weekend can count what was formerly a Nintendo Switch exclusive among their options now that it's released on the PC platform. That game is Triangle Strategy. And this, these names we've talked about, and we've even read about, like, there is just like a lack of it seems like there's a real lack of I don't know, man. Like, have all the names for games been taken? Is that what it is? Have all the names for games been taken? Or I mean, are people just out of ideas? Is that what it is? Are people's imaginations just shot anymore in the game industry when it comes to trying to develop a name for games? This is one of those games I remember. Square Enix has gotten blasted quite often here lately for the names that they're throwing on some of their titles. Triangle Strategy. Like, the HD 2D title developed by Square and Art Dink and published by Square is a turn-based strategy game originally released on the Switch back in March of 2022. It is a game that maintained positive reviews since its launch. If you don't recognize it by the name along the signature HD 2D art style it employs, should ring a bell. It's from the same development team responsible for the Bravely games, as well as Octopath Traveler. So if you're fond of those two series, Triangle Strategy might be worth a look. The game's set in a land called Norzelia, with 3 competing powers controlling their own areas after many wars. As one might expect, the peace that had finally been brokered is ruined by an attack from one of the regions which thrust the player and their recruited party members into battle. Here, Triangle Strategy.
Today, we fight not for glory or pride, but for survival.
Ah, that was loud. Jeez.
Let us take this first step together and rejoice.
Come what may, my steps shall never waver.
Okay, sorry. For those who enjoy that sort of party system present in things like Octopath Traveler and the Fire Emblem games, you'll be happy to hear that there are strategies to be employed even when you're trying to wrangle in new members, build relationships, and keep them in your group. You'll be able to train and develop these units to improve their effectiveness in battle and open your tactical options even further. A preview of the recruitment and party system said, of course, some characters are hidden, while others may leave your employee due to a difference of opinion, so it's worth getting to know them off the battlefield too. Though the game did debut months earlier on the Switch, the Steam version has not gotten a price drop to coincide with its new arrival there. That means that Triangle Strategy is being sold at the premium price of $60 for the base version. There's also a deluxe edition for those who want a digital art book too. It's now available on Switch and on Steam. All right, let's talk about this Bayonetta thing here. So, shout out to our buddy Tinwin. Brought this news to us that kind of, I think, came out after we had already done the news segment yesterday. And basically, what this comes down to is Platinum Games. Well, so let me start this. Platinum Games is the developer behind Bayonetta, right? And Bayonetta 1 and 2 had employed this an individual, an actor, voice actress, voice actress by the name of Helena Taylor to do the voice of Bayonetta, the protagonist of the game, for both of the first games in the series, Bayonetta 1 and 2. This individual came out yesterday telling basically the gaming world, the industry, everybody that Platinum Games had only offered $4,000 for her to reprise her voice acting role as Bayonetta in this third entry. And then called for a boycott of the game. And we talked about it a bit yesterday after we finished Scorn, and it seemed like a weird situation where first off, if that's the case, that's odd. So ultimately, Bayonetta 3 has a different voice actor for the Bayonetta character, right? I think some of the important things to address in this scenario, and we're going to take a look at these articles and see if we can come up with anything that can shed a little bit of light on what we weren't sure of yesterday, which was why would Platinum, if this was a lowball offer, which I would say absolutely sounds like if this is a true statement from Helena Taylor, which there is a Twitter post video of her stating these things. If this is a truthful statement by her, that's what Platinum offered, $4,000 to reprise the role in voice acting Bayonetta for Bayonetta 3. Why was that done in the first place? And there are different ways that need to be addressed there. So, what was she paid for the performing this for the what was the payment, the contract, for the first two games? And so what's the comparison there for the $4,000 offer for the Bayonetta 3 in comparison to what she was paid for the first two, right? I will say that if they didn't want to go with her for voice acting the third game, and they knew that. I don't understand why they would throw this kind of lowball offer out there, other than just to kind of be kind of like a metaphorical like slap in the face. You know what I mean? To really take a shot at this individual for some kind of like falling out or disdain that had happened somewhere along the lines of them working together previously. And it just seems like a really weird scenario. And now I think we need details on both sides to find out, because there's two sides to each story, right? I think that it's going to be really hard to tell who's telling the truth here, and what is gone down and what's happened, and unless there's some kind of actual paper offer that shows $4,000 or whatever. But also, I mean, I think is if that is the case, does that feel bad? Yeah. Rather than just telling this voice actor, the original voice actor, Helena Taylor, that we are no longer interested in having you take on, this role, where we've found somebody that we think better fits what we want to do with this character moving forward, and it seems like a very unprofessional way to go about the situation. We don't know all the ins and outs of it, and that's what we're going to try to figure out today. See what we got. So Bayonetta's former voice actress exposes the low salary Platinum Games reportedly offered. For an unexperienced Umbra witch, it's not a lot. What you need to know: Bayonetta is an action adventure hack and slash. Yeah. Yeah, for the third game in the series, Platinum Games opted to hire a different voice actress to play the titular Bayonetta. Bayonetta's original voice actress, Helena Taylor, alleged that she declined the role due to the meager salary Platinum Games offered. Bayonetta as a franchise has had a bit of a rocky journey, almost fading into obscurity before being revived by Nintendo, who brought Bayonetta 2 to the Nintendo Wii U as an exclusive, alongside a port of the first game. Bayonetta 3 was announced in 2017, but no further information was given until the September 2021 Nintendo Direct, scheduled for an October 2022 release. The third installment in the series features the Umbra Witch supporting two pigtails this time around, and a lot of gunslinging action. However, Bayonetta 3's development was not without its problems either. It was revealed that the original voice actress who played Bayonetta, Helena Taylor, would not be making a return. Though the reasons for this change were not initially revealed, the voice actress recently spoke out about her reasons for declining the role. In her tweet, Taylor explains the Bayonetta franchise has made an approximately $450 million. That's not including merchandise. She gave a summary of her 7.5-year education, some history, 3 years of which were spent at the London Academy. Yeah, and the other 4.5 years spent in Los Angeles training under Larry Moss. After auditioning again for the role and passing with flying colors, quote, flying colors, Helena Taylor says she received an insulting offer from the studio. She ended up writing to Kamiya, the executive producer of Bayonetta 3, after the initial offer with a figure she deemed worth her expertise. Kamiya reportedly sent a seemingly supportive response. Taylor claims the Platinum Games final offer ended up being a flat rate of $4,000 USD to voice Bayonetta through the entire game, which she was also dissatisfied with and subsequently declined. While Platinum Games has not publicly commented on the matter, the replies to Taylor's tweet by fans of the franchise show empathy towards the established actress and disappointment at the developer's alleged offer. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a weird situation. Again, we haven't gotten anything. There's nothing new in that article. TMZ, this is not a site that I necessarily care to be diving into for information, but We watched this yesterday as well. This is just a video that she released on Twitter initially, exposing this kind of situation, and basically all the quotes that we've already read, the information. That's just what she goes over. Um, Taylor says her beef isn't with. I think this is supposed to say Taylor says her beef isn't with Hell, who is the person that took over her role. Whom she wishes the best, but also notes this woman has no right to claim herself as Bayonetta, as the character has been helmed by herself since the beginning. She also slams the video gaming industry at large for what she says is a systematic practice of screwing over talent and keeping all the profits for execs. Platinum Games and Nintendo have remained silent on the allegations so far, but Kamiya has fired back online with a somewhat ominous message, sad and deplorable about the attitude of untruth. That's what I can tell now. By the way, beware of my rules. First of all, look, I think we talked about this yesterday, and I'm not necessarily on board with what this notion, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what line of work you are in. You know, if you gotta, I think, always have a bit of an understanding that there's always going to be competition, right? There's always going to be competition, and there's always the potential that there's going to be somebody better. There's always the potential that there's going to be somebody better, and whoever you might be working for, or or collaborating with for an amount of time, they might end up finding somebody they think is going to do the job better than you. And that's the state of the world. That's the way things work. That's business. So saying that Bayonetta is your character whenever you didn't create it, you've been the voice actor behind it or whatever. That's really the extent of what you've had to do with that character. I disagree. You know, I understand how that can be a absolutely a rough thing to probably grasp and handle whenever you've probably developed quite a an attachment to that character whenever you're in that line of work. But ultimately, it's a very competitive thing, line of work that these individuals are in, and then they found somebody that apparently they wanted to move forward with outside of um Helena Taylor doing the voice moving forward, so I mean, and on the flip side, I think our buddy Syke brought up another good point about yesterday when we were talking about this. This individual is talking about trying to get people to boycott Bayonetta 3 due to this, and ultimately, while boycotting this game wouldn't necessarily affect the people that worked on it in most of the people that worked on it in what they would, because they get paid as they work on the game, not for what it makes or anything. But if the game tanked because of something like this, because it got boycotted, it does look bad on a game that they worked on. You know what I mean? So that can affect their resume and stuff like that, and future employment and things like that moving forward. If a game they worked on tanked, and it wasn't necessarily because the quality of the game was bad, it was for something outside of something because of this, so it can affect people that really had nothing to do with this scenario. So I don't know if like boycotting this title is really the right thing to do. there's a lot of information that's missing in this scenario. It seems like a really, really weird play. If Platinum Games wanted to pivot and go with a different voice actor for this character moving forward, why would they not just address this in a civil manner, a very business-like manner, and let this, let Helena Taylor know that they were not going to have her reprise the role, and they had found somebody that they felt was going to fit the role better moving forward, and thank her for what she had done. I mean, it seems to me like there is something going on in the back. Something has happened in the background that led them to this entire kind of debacle, this situation here. So, I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever get to the bottom of exactly what happened here. I think really and I don't know that we'll necessarily ever find anything to come out that fully shows who was in the right or wrong here, or what truly did or did not happen. Like substantial evidence of one side or the other. It's probably going to be a bunch of back and forth allegations that don't have any kind of evidence to back it up or anything like that. But I don't know. It's a weird situation. If it is in fact the way that Helena Taylor is stating, that she was just kind of lowballed out of this situation, it seems like a very, very terrible thing for this developer to do for just no reason, which is absolutely weird. And I think it looks very bad on them, and I think it'll have significant repercussions for them. But I don't know. Yeah. Well, and that's what I brought up, or that's what I brought up previously. Gamer was like, "What's the difference in what they were offering her for this third title as opposed to what she made for the first ones?" I brought that up yesterday, and I said that a little bit ago too. Yeah, exactly. Actually, Bayonetta is a very popular title. Very popular. Yeah. People love this game, and I think that as far as I would actually just consider it a AAA title. Yeah. So I mean, so what's their employee? Yeah, I've never played it either, but I'm very familiar with Bayonetta, and a lot of people really like Bayonetta, dude. It's obviously become more and more popular as it's more games have come out and everything. But I mean, again, if you look at what the game's made $500 million to this point. The series has made $500 million to this point. That's a lot of money. You know what I mean? That's so, and I don't think that includes like merchandise or anything like that. It's just the software, So it's pretty lucrative title, you know. It's not that it's like the biggest title of all time or anything, but yeah, about a half a billion, 450 million, just under half a billion, billion. Yeah, just off software alone, I think. Um, let's see. How do you even spell? Oh, no, yeah, half a bill. Bayonetta wiki. Yo, Psych, what's up, dude? Oh, that's it. That's all they have in here, dude. What the crap? Ah! It might take too long to like dive into this, but yeah, I don't know. That's just the numbers that were thrown around in a lot of what we read right now. Half a bill equals 50 cents. That's not wrong. It's not wrong. Yeah. So I mean, it's not, it's definitely not a small title. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the sentiments that I was trying to get at yesterday was that wasn't really being brought up was like, well, if you really want to put into perspective that like $4,000 offer to reprise the role as the voice actor in this is a slap in the face, let's get a comparison of what was, what was this individual being paid for the first game and then the second. And what I would assume is that the first game was an amount, the second game was probably more than that, and then you would expect the third game because this game has become more popular and more lucrative as and more profitable as the iterations of the title have moved on, right? So that's what you would expect, right? Um, so, but I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm saying is like it's a really weird situation where we're not getting a lot of details. We're just seeing like allegations without any kind of like substance on either half to really back anything up. And that's what like I think what I would like to see is show me that where they presented you some kind of contract that shows that we're willing to give you $4,000. You know what I mean, to reprise your role, and then show me where that's a. I mean, and it does seem like a lowball offer, right? It does, but I mean, what do I know? I'm not in that career field. You know what I mean? It does seem low, but I don't know. Show me what you made on the show me what voice actors were being paid on the first two, or show me a comparable title. What main voice actors are making on a comparable title, and to what you got off. I don't even need to see exactly what Helena Taylor made on the first two. Show me what comparable voice actors are making, on other titles, other comparable titles. Something like that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I have no idea what each game's going to be different, but I mean, ultimately, I have no idea. I'm not in that career field, But I think we're missing. We're without a lot of details here that really show the full picture. And again, like I got to yesterday, why? If this is such a low ball offer, why was this like metaphorical, kind of slap in the face to Helena Taylor? Why was this done? you know, there's something going on. I mean, there's no other reason for this to happen other than for them to be taking a shot at her for something. I don't see a business doing this for no reason. If they actually wanted to move on to somebody else, and they did. And dude, I'm willing to bet you because who they moved on to is a well-known voice actor in the gaming world, and I'm willing to bet that individual made well over $4,000 for voice acting, and we don't know that either, right? So that's some other information we're missing out on. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a lot of question marks around this, and it's really hard to determine. So I don't know until we get more. Even if we get more, I don't know that we ever will. Really, it's hard for me to like. I'm kind of just staying neutral on it because I tend to take all these kinds of things with a grain of salt, and I really try to see all different points of view. And look, dude, every story has two sides to it, right? So I try not to jump to conclusions about stuff. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It seems like a really weird situation, but I mean, it's obviously kind of all over the place in the gaming world right now because uh, not I mean, obviously, again, shout out to our buddy Tinwin for bringing it to us yesterday. It was something that came up after we had done the news segment yesterday, and now this morning we had a bunch more articles that were a whole slew of articles that were coming up regarding this same exact issue. But there's nothing substantial coming out of them other than what we saw yesterday as well. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see if anything else comes of it. If we can actually like pull together information as we move forward to try to determine like what actually happened within this entire situation. But I don't really think we will. you know, I really I just think it's going to be one of those things we'll just always kind of wonder about, and it'll end up dying out eventually, which is going to be kind of weird. It'd be good to know because if they did, if Platinum Games did just really do a disservice to that individual, that sucks, and they should be hated for it, But it's going to be hard to tell. Yeah. So I had planned on playing Cultic today, and I've just honestly I'm feeling a bit under the weather, and I've got some stuff that I need to take care of, and it just feels more like a day that I should just take to get some of this other stuff taken care of, get it off my plate, rest up a little bit, and we'll start Dead Space 3 tomorrow. Yeah. A lot of times that kind of stuff is not public information, gamer. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, obviously for the gaming industry, it's weird. It's weird news. It's like why, and that I think that's what I'm getting at is like why would they do this if they didn't have a reason to do this? And that's where we're lacking information. So I don't know that we'll ever get it. So I don't like doing short streams. I don't like not streaming and everything. But today's one of those days that I need to go ahead and take the rest of it to just focus on some other stuff and me and make sure that I'm ready to roll for tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some things that have been put off for a little bit incorporated for you guys to have some more fun with in the community tomorrow and everything. But yeah, that's gonna do it. So thank you guys. You're amazing. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for being part of the news segment as always. If you are viewing this on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with me and the rest of this amazing community. We go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day, and we start all of our streams off with video gaming news. I don't know. Other than that, you guys just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for October 17th edition of Video Gaming News and day one of Dead Space 3. Yeah.